Welcome into Geodis Park. We're in for another match day as Nashville SC takes on Charlotte. Tony Villalobos, Nick Frazier, getting ready for tonight's game.
Happy to be back here, Nick.
Yeah.
One more. It's just we're happy because this team is doing so well.
Sure.
But it's usually nice to come on here. Not an easy game by any means.
Right.
The fact that Charlotte lost the last game doesn't mean that they're going to come here and just give up tonight. No, as you see how to play this game. It's good to know that you probably read the lineup in a few minutes, but it's good to know that BJ is sticking out to the guns.
Yep.
For the most part, and well, we can't wait for this one to start.
Yeah, and like to that point too, you look at this team and you wonder how they have gotten through the last couple of weeks, because I'm not saying they had bad luck with injury, but one of those players being Sam Surridge. Sam Surridge has been, quote, day to day in those type of situations. The other thing is that he is not in the lineup, but he's on the lineup card. He's on the subs list, which is a good thing. You wonder when he gets playtime tonight. If it were me, I would say he gets a little bit of playtime starting at around maybe the 65th minute, give or take. I think that's the best thing to do for Nashville, just to get some of these guys minutes going into Tigres on Tuesday.
It was difficult to think back in the old times that a team like Nashville would play without his best striker and still have the kind of quality of a game he's having. Well, I thought the team was going to miss Sam Surridge big time.
Yeah.
They didn't.
No.
They didn't.
Credit to BJ, because he's said we're going to be a resilient team and adding younger players to get them more minutes. Because the early stages of the CONCACAF Champions Cup when they were taking on Atletico Ottawa, there were guys like Ruben Spacious. Even I think that was when we saw Warren Madrigal really, come into his own in this lineup. Ahmed Kassem. We've had our, conversations about him. He's in the starting lineup tonight. I'd like to see a lot of production out of him, see him take defenders head on, because that's something he's lacking in this game. We'd like to see a little bit more of that. Obviously, you have Jason Palacios and Maxwell Wolitzy as those two core pillars and center backs. You wonder how Palacios does tonight, get him ready and fueled up for a game on Tuesday against Steve.
Does it tell you anything the fact that Dan Love is playing against the Baker? And the only reason I ask that is because it seems like we don't know anymore who's started there on the left side. It seems like in the CONCACAF Champions, Baker's Whiting is taking that place, and all of a sudden when we come back to MLS, Dan Love is being here. What do we think? What can we say about that?
I think it's a healthy rotation. I think you can leave the MLS play for Daniel Lovitz to take care of, and I think you can take on the CONCACAF Champions Cup with Reed Baker-Whiting. Again, I go back to those first couple of rounds, or I'd say the second leg of the Atletico Ottawa here at Geodis Park, when Reed Baker-Whiting got his debut in this tournament. I think he's made this tournament his, and the fact that you can rely on a guy like Daniel Lovitz, who's a veteran, that can come into an MLS lineup and just take care of business. So again, I think it's a healthy rotation. It's something that Nashville's worked on throughout the beginning of this season up to now. I don't see any issues with it whatsoever.
No, I don't think it was either. Actually, there was a good question from Valer, our friend Valer, to VJ in the press conference, the presser, about if there was going to be rotations per se today just because of the game coming up on Tuesday against Tigres from Mexico. And he said no. I mean, we know now that he didn't do it.
Right.
He seems to be thinking, or at least he knows better than we do anyways, that all of the guys are ready to play. Mm-hmm. Nobody who comes into the field, and that's good to know. That's a good problem to have for a coach when they know that nobody who comes in, then that guy is ready.
Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't say it's an issue. I would say it's more of something to keep your eye on is the midfield. We've seen the last 3 to 4 games where Nashville has maybe struggled with just the creativity in the midfield. And I think going up against Charlotte last weekend, it was a refreshing feeling to see guys like Eddie Tagset, Patrick Yazbek, get in on the score sheet. And it's not just for them to create, passes from, box to box. They actually went into the attacking third and finished off some goals.
Well, one of the guys you already mentioned it, but one of the guys that he's been in the conversation for the last few games for Nashville has been Patrick Yazbek.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the fact that he's still trying to make it to the World Cup with this team, with the Australian national team, makes a lot different for a guy. But, I mean, we kind of knew the quality was there. I mean, it's good that he's motivated enough to do what he's doing. But what makes, in your opinion, Patrick Yazbek so key, so different this time?
I think it's just his poise. Like, you have a quarterback in NFL football, the poise in the pocket.
Yeah.
I think for him, the poise in the midfield to check your shoulder left and right before you're about to make your next step. I think that's something it's valuable for a guy like Yazbek, because if you want to play at the international level for a team like Australia, you have to be doing those key things. And that's all basic knowledge to that point.
Sure.
Another factor I think would be just seeing, like I was talking about, looking over your shoulder, checking for the next pass. Also, they look forward. And that's one thing Yazbek does so well, is he finds opportunities, if it's on the right or left flank, to dish the ball out to create more chances on goal. So that's something that Nashville, like I was talking about just a second ago, has lacked the last couple of weeks, but they're getting back to that now. I think after the Charlotte game, it sparked something to where you now have Sam Surridge back. You now have a lot of key core players back. You can kind of take a deep breath and go about your game as usual.
One of the things that is kind of amazing this season is that we've been talking about this team in our shows and everything, with our podcasts and everything. And if you look at it, it's kind of amazing that in the best, perhaps, in my opinion,
Sure,
the best season that Hani Mukhtar has ever had with this team in terms of production as a player, not as a goal scorer, we talk less and less about him.
Yeah.
He's playing really well. I mean, what Hani is doing right here, 2 assists in the last game,
yeah,
that's just something that sometimes it gets given for granted because he's so good.
yeah.
But around the league, people keep saying this is still the guy. Yes, the guy. And I agree. Hani Mukhtar is just that guy that would be perhaps the one piece that I would probably say, if he's missed from the last starting lineup, things don't look just about the same.
Yeah, that's interesting you bring that up, because tonight we're seeing Warren Madrigal play as the 9 up top, where Sam Surridge usually plays. The last couple of weeks, we've seen Warren Madrigal take on that number 9 role, but behind him, it's been Hani Mukhtar, like you're talking about. Yes, it is Hani Mukhtar, but not the MVP Hani Mukhtar.
Yes.
I think we're seeing an MVP Hani Mukhtar of assists and just creating more opportunities. I think last season, when Sam Surridge had his career-setting year in goals and just goal creations, that was because of Hani Mukhtar. So we're getting a newer version of him, just in a different way.
Will Hani say that he's enjoying more this season than the one he was the best scorer?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's great to have personal accolades, but at the same time, when the team's winning and you're at first place in the Eastern Conference, I would say so.
Now, and the one perhaps we can talk a lot about two pieces that we don't touch much. The couples on the back. I mean, Willetsy and Jason.
Yeah.
They have been something overwhelming for the whole league. And I'm talking about how Jason Palacios is still playing the best probably soccer of his life, and how Willetsy just came and say, "Well, I'm part of it," like he already said it.
Yeah.
That's amazing for a team like Nashville in this case, because usually it takes longer, much longer for central defenders to accomplish that. And then behind them is the season that Strike is having. Awesome. I mean, he doesn't allow anything coming into this goal. Something, 2 goals the whole season. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to say for a keeper when you go around the league. You see all these keepers having permitted so many goals.
I believe it's 13 matches, and he's had 11 clean sheets, something like that. 8 clean sheets. So yeah, and credit to the way BJ has structured this back line. He is aggressive on the left and right backs, but at the same time, you have 4 center backs that, again, we talked about in years past with Walker Zimmerman. He seemed to be kind of holding back the 2 center backs when they're going for the attack out there in the attacking third. So now you have center backs now that can run back to the position and only do their job, and that's solely to defend and nothing else.
And of course, we're going to probably come back tonight. Come back tonight and talk about a little bit. I mean, a kind of a small preview about the game coming up on Tuesday. But
yeah,
let's just mention something tonight. I mean, the way this thing, how much of the whatever output we see tonight from Nashville will make a difference in terms of what Tigres is bringing to the table on Tuesday. What do you think?
I think we're going to see a little bit of an aggressive approach as always from Nashville. They like to be that high press team right out the gate. My only issue I would have for tonight is if Nashville get into a little bit of a stalemate, meaning if both teams are tied at halftime, 1-1 or 0-0, that would be a little bit of a concern for me. I would like to see Nashville put this game away early, and when they do that, they can go about their day and get ready for Tuesday night.
I'm honest with you. I don't think I want to be. I don't want to sound over optimistic, but I am. I am because of the way things are. Not only because of what the team is doing in the field. It's because the way this team has been working this season.
Right.
In and out. We get the opportunity to see this team playing out there in the training field, and a lot of things look different. And the compromise, the conditions that BJ puts into the practices and everything. You know, what I think is this, and I'm gonna go and say it right now. I think Nashville wins tonight, and they win Tuesday night as well.
Yeah, I believe that's right. I think they win tonight 2-1, 2-0, and they go on Tuesday night and win 1-0.
I'm going for 2-0 on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I think your score for today. Give the audience the starting lineup.
Yes, I'll give you the starting lineup before we go. Starting lineup is Brian Schwacke, Andy Nahar, Daniel Lovitz, Jason Palacios, Maxwell Walitzi, Patrick Yazbek, Matthew Corcoran, Christian Espinoza, Ahmed Qasim, Hani Mukhtar, and Warren Madrigal. So there you go.
And we haven't talked at all about what Christian Espinoza been doing.
That's right. We'll get into more of that after the game. How about that? Thank you guys for watching the pregame show. We'll catch you on after the postgame, after the press conference.
Hope you enjoyed the game.
Take care.